Hi everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about creatine. Now, I talk about creatine. I have a supplement course. At the moment, as I film this, it's completely free. You can enroll into it. Go to my online school, bradnewton.tv. Go and check it out. I talk about creatine there as well, and a bunch of other supplements, which I won't be talking about in this video series because this video series is about training. But I'm talking about the big ones. So creatine is one of the supplements which has been shown in plenty of science out there to actually help you in your getting results in building muscle and building strength and reducing muscle soreness and a host of other things as well. In fact, what I've done on your screen is I've taken the key points and I've linked it with all the science. You'll see the annotations on your screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to do further research, after the video, there'll be like a little scientific references thing. You can do your own research and whatever. But I've done all the research for you, so you don't have to do the research. So look, creatine, I call it the bodybuilding staple because creatine is, as I mentioned, one of the most researched supplements in the sports dietetic space. You know, everybody in the sports space has heard about or has used or is using creatine in some capacity. The reason being is because it's simple, it's a simple compound, and it works. Like, it's effective. But of course, going back to what I said before in this video, if you remember this, do you need supplements? You don't need creatine. But creatine has been shown to help you in building muscle and building strength. And when I say help you, I'm talking about like 5% of your results, which as a natural, somebody who's not taking steroids, you're trying to maximize everything you can get your hands on. Like, if you're not taking steroids, then you're trying to find the edge in every single thing that you're doing in the gym, with your nutrition, with supplements. And creatine is going to help you get that edge. So, look, it seems obvious. I've already mentioned improved strength and building muscle. Look, some people think it's a steroid. It's not a steroid. Creatine is actually found in a lot of the food that you eat. So, like red meat, dairy products, they all contain creatine. So, creatine is not a steroid. It's naturally occurring in the food that we eat. The problem is, though, is that you're not getting enough creatine in the food that you eat to realize any substantial benefits that the science talks about. So, that's why it's best to supplement with creatine, like this right here. Now, this is one that I've been using for a while, on and off, not every day, but this is one that I always go back to. Now, this is by Optimum Nutrition. I'm not sponsored by this company. I've got to put that out there. I'm not sponsored by this company. I believe in their products. And by the way, this is creatine monohydrate, as you'll see right there. I'm not sure if you can see that. Creatine monohydrate, I just want to point that out, is the creatine that you want to be looking for. Yeah, there are so many different creatines on the market, but creatine monohydrate is the one where pretty much 90% of the scientific studies have been conducted on. So yeah, that's the one that I suggest, creatine monohydrate. It doesn't have to be from Optimum Nutrition. I do have this on my website. If you go to the recommended section, you can buy this, but you don't have to buy this brand. You can buy whatever brand you want. Just make sure it's creatine monohydrate. So back to my point, creatine is found naturally in the food that you eat. You don't get enough of it, therefore you need to supplement with it. Now, in terms of how to do that, you literally, all you need to do is take a teaspoon, literally, I'm not sure if you can see that, powder, right? Is literally take a teaspoon of this every day. And you can have it with your protein shake, you can have it with your caffeine, you can have it with your coffee, right? It's up to you. You can have it how you wish. And there's no flavor. Like, it doesn't have a smell, right? It's just a powder. It looks really suspicious though, right? But you can have it with your protein shake, you can have it, and usually after your workout, have 5 grams of this after your workout with your protein shake. And do it every day. You don't need to, cycle off it. You don't need to, they call it loading creatine, which I talk about in the supplement course. You don't need to do any of that. You can just start taking 5 grams every day. And what it does in terms of practical, what it actually does for you in a practical sense, is that when you're in the gym and you are like, you're doing your bench press, you're doing your overhead press, whatever you're doing, what creatine allows you to do is it allows you to push excuse me, it allows you to push those extra 1 or 2 reps that you couldn't have done without the creatine. It allows you to push those extra 1 or 2 reps because it gives you that extra muscular endurance to do those 1 or 2 extra reps. Now, if you remember what I talked about, when we're progressively overloading the muscles for the same weight, if we're doing an extra 1 or 2 reps, we're going to experience what? Greater strength and therefore greater muscle growth. So therefore, those 1 or 2 extra reps multiplied over 5-6 days a week of training, multiplied over X amount of weeks, is going to see growth by taking creatine. So creatine doesn't directly help you build muscle. It's not directly responsible for muscle protein synthesis. However, it does it indirectly by allowing you to push or pull those extra 2 reps or so. It gives you that little bit of extra intensity that you would not have had before, that will allow you to break down that little bit more of extra muscle, that will allow your body to rebuild that little bit more of muscle, to get that little bit stronger, to get that little bit bigger. And we're talking small changes, but compounding. If you've read the book, The Compound Effect, I've got that in my cupboard somewhere. It's exactly the same principle. So anyway, almost dropped that. In terms of, is it bad for your kidneys? Look, the science has pretty much said no. If you're a normal human being, you don't have any pre-existing renal or kidney conditions, then taking creatine is completely fine. So it's not bad for your kidneys. I got the science reference there. They looked at long-term studies as well, people taking creatine over the long term, over a number of years. You might be thinking, well, Brad, it's great to take creatine for like a week or 3 months, but what about like 4 or 5 years? It's fine, no issues. Long-term, short-term studies, creatine is perfectly safe to take. If you have a pre-existing kidney condition or any kind of renal condition, then it's recommended that you don't take creatine. It's found in a couple of studies that if you do have pre-existing kidney conditions or problems, that it can exacerbate those. If you take creatine, it can make those problems worse. And that's it. So creatine monohydrate is what you're looking for. There is creatine citrate, creatine nitrate, creatine pyruvate, buffered creatine, liquid creatine. What else is there? There's about 12 or 13 different types of creatine. The one that you care about, and the one that most of the research has been conducted on, is creatine monohydrate. That's the one we care about. Hope this was helpful. If you like this video, you probably will like my supplement course, where I talk about the different types of supplements out there, all the BS supplements that you don't want to be taking, you don't want to be wasting your money on, and the supplements which actually can be beneficial for you, provided that nutrition, tick, training, tick, is all sorted out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.